Going to talk about these saddle covers here. These are something that people may get if they're trying to relieve some discomfort, some pain as they're riding the bike. What could happen is these saddle covers, they're usually a slip-on and they will slide around a little bit, even if it's just like a ½ inch here and there. Depending how long you're riding, they could cause an issue. Next thing you know, you're sitting sideways as you're trying to ride because the whole thing just slid over. They just don't fit that tight. There's usually a drawstring at the bottom that'll pull it tight. They'll slip on and then draw tight over here. The best remedy, if you want comfort, is to get the appropriate seat, or also called the saddle. So a lot of these stores, a decent bike store will have something to measure your sit bones. So you got 2 bones that are just within your butt cheeks there. So usually you sit down, your bones will actually make an imprint, say like on a soft foam, and then they can measure the distance between your sit bones, and from there they'll guide you to that seat that for your size. So they will come in a variety of widths. So that's a big thing right there. If you can just nail that down, then the rest might be a little easier to deal with. Other than that, if they know their seats and they know how to help people, they'll say, well, are you doing this for recreation? Are you commuting? Are you going on long rides? Are you doing 20-mile rides? Are you doing 100-mile rides? Is your bike a hybrid commuting bike? So are you like sitting upright, which can change the angle of your sit bones. So if you're sitting upright, you're sitting like this, and then say you have a mountain bike. Mountain bikes are going to be a little bent over. So as you pivot, your sit bones actually pivot. So that means your sit bones are going to be sitting a little different. Body geometry is different. Your weight distribution is much different. Now you have more pressure coming onto your arms, your shoulders, your hands. So all those little details somebody may have never told you about, that can make a big difference right there. So just finding the right width. You could probably find a very thin saddle. If you got the width correct, the contour may just be right for you, and it's kind of hit and miss. A saddle is very personalized. It's like getting a pair of shoes that fit good, a pair of gloves that fit good, your favorite hat, something like that. It's very personalized, so it may take trial and error. Some shops will possibly do a trial run with you. You may be able to either purchase it. They'll allow it to come back. You can do a refund or an exchange if you don't scratch it or mar it up. Some shops may let you do like a loaner program, so they might have seats that are meant to be loaned out, be ridden, test it, or they're like test saddles basically. So find the shop that will do something like that, show you some leniency, because finding a saddle is priority number 1. I know that if you don't have the right one, it's going to make for a horrible ride. You're not going to want to ride your bike, even if it's for fun, if it's commuting. You're going to like say no thank you, I'd rather walk. So just kind of let them know what type of bike you have, what type of riding you're going to be doing, and of course what type of pants, shorts, padding. Are you wearing a chamois, things like that? Do you need chamois butter? It's like a cream to help if you're going on really long rides. And like again, everybody's different. Somebody may get a little saddle sore after 10 miles. Someone might get saddle sore after 50 miles. So the more you ride, the more your body gets used to sitting on the bike. So definitely very important. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. So like this saddle here, oh, very cool. This one actually has a little pouch in the back. Probably you can put some money. It's not very big. Actually, you know what this is? This is a cover. You pull this out, it's a cover, and it's for the saddle itself. So if you got to park it and it's raining, you unfold this, slip it over, boom. That's actually pretty cool. That's ingenious. So that's a nice cover. I thought it was for like, hey, let's put some lunch money back there or something like that. It's too small for a tube, but maybe one patch kit and a tire lever, but that's pretty neat. Okay, so got a drawstring over here. Looks like they tied it down here. You're just tying a knot like you're tying a shoe. And it looks like they do have actually a pretty good knot going. It's like a shoestring. Then there's like a spring-loaded little clamp back here. You squeeze this, bring this down. That'll allow this to open up. And then it just slips right off. Boom. And you look at this thing, you're like, oh my God, this thing is pretty narrow. It's got some foamy, but not a whole bunch. I think it's super narrow here. A lot of people see this and go, oh my gosh, that looks very uncomfortable. And really, in reality, all your weight is sitting again on your sit bones. Your sit bones should be sitting somewhere the meaty part of the pad here. Boom. So that's the width that can change per person. So then the width of the saddle can actually change as well. So of course they have saddles out there for cruising around that are going to be really big. You'll see on a beach cruiser, and then you'll see something more streamlined like this, which is going to be on someone who may be doing a little more longer distance. The narrower the saddle, the less chance of like your inner thighs rubbing on it. You're going to have a little more maneuverability as well. The big ones are just really meant to kind of sit in one spot and just kind of pedal very slow. You're not doing a whole bunch. You're not sliding forwards and backwards, and like on a mountain bike where you're distributing your weight differently. Road bikes, you're sitting more in one spot. So whether it's a 30-minute ride or a 4-hour ride, or if you're in the saddle for 100 miles or 200 miles, which is crazy, you're in that one position. So it's critical that you get a saddle that fits you, because you don't want to be having body parts going to sleep, going numb. That's definitely a thing. Chafing. So even if you have the right shorts, you have the right chamois, you can still get some funky chafing going on. So that's why you don't know until you know. You might do 20 miles, you'd be like, next time is 30 miles, and then you find out what you got going there. So this going back on, this is either a foam or some type of gel. It does have a little opening in the middle, but you know, and then it's just a kind of a drawstring here. So this just slips back on, fold around, and then tie this tight, and then just redo your strings here. But these do have a tendency to kind of slip sideways. These drive me nuts though when I have to go test ride a bike. It's like you're just riding all crooked, so I don't feel that confident when I'm riding this thing.